Hi, this is Dr. Jeanette Cates coming to you from sunny Austin, Texas, and I'm talking today with Robert Plank and Lance Tamashiro. Robert is a friend of mine. I met him about a year and a half ago, and one of the things that really impressed me about him was his speed of execution. I have watched him create 52 videos in a day. I've watched him create one product after another, and he's literally risen through the ranks of Internet marketers very, very rapidly. Now, I didn't meet Lance until last December, at which time all of a sudden he just burst upon the scene, and Lance Tamashiro was everywhere. So we'll probably see how he was able to accomplish that. But one of the things that I found in meeting both of them and having worked with them on several courses that they've taught, I've learned a tremendous amount from them, and they work really, really well together. That's why I wanted to bring you this interview with them to talk about how they work in partnership with their joint venture. So welcome, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, thanks, Jeanette.
All right. So how long have you all been working together now?
I don't know. How long it's been, Lance? Like 5 months?
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 months.
All right.
See, now, that's by the calendar.
And then before that, we worked against each other.
Well, we did.
Well, now, how did you meet?
Well, because I was doing joint ventures with another person, and me and him had just done like this big like $10,000 launch, and then I kept, calling him every day to see what he was doing because I needed certain things from him because we were doing like a class together. And every day he started saying, "Oh, I got this one customer, Lance. He's like doing all this cool stuff." And then I'd say, "All right, what about my stuff?" And then the next day I'd be like, "All right, so I need these 2 things from you." He's like, "All right, well today I got this stuff done with Lance and that stuff done with Lance and all this other stuff with Lance." So yeah, so that's kind of how I got introduced to Lance, was the guy who kind of had priority over me, even though like me and the original guy had just done like a 10K launch, and him and Lance were doing like $300 launches, and I was like, what the heck? I hate this guy.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for the future, does it? So how did you get from that point where you were in competition to turning around and working together?
I think you told your wife one day that you were going to do it, didn't you, Lance?
Yeah, I it was basically before the first video sales tactics class, and my wife was like, "Why are you signing up for this class?" And I'm like, "Well, there's only one reason I'm signing up for this class. I'm going to end up leaving this entire class with Robert Plank agreeing to do a project with me." And she basically thought I was crazy because she had seen, it was to the point where, I was a paying customer in Robert's classes, and he would basically call me out. He would make videos making fun of me. He would do everything he could to make me go away. And so I basically entered the class and was like, I knew it was about video. I knew it was a forum that if anybody had a chance to win somebody over, and I felt like it was a good forum for me to be able to win the guy over. And I had tried all sorts of other mediums before that. I'd tried emailing him. Robert's real big on accountability lists, so I would email him, every day for a couple of weeks in a row.
Yeah, that was funny. I would just delete it without reading them.
And so I knew that he couldn't ignore me, one, because I was a paying student, and two, because I had watched a lot of his classes. In fact, I'd taken pretty much every one except for maybe 1 or 2 since he started. And with the thing with video, he had kicked it off with this whole daily video challenge. And I knew that one thing about me is that, and Robert as well, is that, we both kind of like to push each other as far as doing the impossible. And so I knew right away when he put that challenge out that there might be another person that would do it every day, but definitely there wouldn't be a whole handful. So I knew he wouldn't be able to ignore me. And so my basic strategy was to go in and take over the class.
Which I believe you did very successfully.
Oh, yeah.
And helped a lot of other people along the way, because I was in that class too. So do you have the same skills or complementary skills, would you say?
I think complementary. What do you think, Lance?
I think we have very complementary skills, and as far as what we focused on or what our strong points were from a pure marketing standpoint,
We got to get a good cop, bad cop thing going.
And I also think, though, but without that, on top of that, though, we also have a lot of similarities in that we both like to be pushed really hard. We both like to do the impossible. We both work well together with strict accountability type stuff. And so I think that the things that are very similar for us help us, as well as, our skill sets help us out at the same time. Because I think, if you don't have personalities that work well together, it leads to just disaster as far as joint ventures go.
Oh, yeah, I would think so. So now, who pushes who? Or is it back and forth?
It's back and forth, but I think I push more.
I think you push more. I would definitely agree with that.
But it's good because when I have, because we all have those days even when if we push a lot, we have days when we, it's real slow, and on those days Lance pushes me, so it all works out. Like the other day, I was recording the daily videos, and I call Lance and I'm like, "Oh, hey man, I just did 20 videos back to back." He's like, "That's it?" I'm like, yeah, I got to get to 52 before he'll be proud of me.
Yeah, you're right. You too have to have people that you have similar work styles with. Now, Robert, I know you're a programmer and you have really strong technical skills. Lance, what would you say your strong point is?
Well, as far as internet, I'm also my background is with computers as well. My day job's with databases, but I'm not a programmer type. I'm one of those database nerds that likes to deal with large data sets and do all sorts of back-end type of stuff. So I'm not real good with the programming type of things, but I do think like a programmer. And then, I got started basically with list building completely and made what I'll call all of my money before I started working with Robert as basically an affiliate marketer, trying to figure out how to make products, trying to figure out how to do all these other things. And then on top of that, I like to deal with people with kid gloves a little more than maybe Robert does sometimes.
Because I often see you in that support role where you're helping people over the little tiny things.
Yeah. And
the other thing is that, Lance's list building, he's built up a list that's just as responsive as mine, but mine took 5 or 10 years to build, and he's done it in a year. So it's kind of like how Connie's your traffic person, Lance is my traffic person.
Right. And I think it's really important to have those recognitions and be able to admit that the other person is better at one thing or another than you are.
Yeah, otherwise, lots of
are you admitting that?
I think
Lance is way better at the traffic than me, and I'm way better at the copy than he is.
Yeah, and really, there's no point in doing a joint venture unless you have those complementary skill sets. Because, for example, I don't like doing the copy, and Robert really enjoys that, and he doesn't really like doing the list building type stuff, and I really enjoy that. And so I've tried to do joint ventures in the past with other guys that were list builders like I was, and it just doesn't work out at the end because you have the exact same strength, and you're still lacking that same weakness. It's just like in any normal company, you wouldn't, hire a whole bunch of the same exact position. Everybody's got to play their role in order for it to work successfully.
Well, and that's an important point, that was the reason that other JVs didn't work out. Have you had other experiences with working with other people, Lance? Yeah,
I've tried multiple different projects, and I still do small other projects with other guys, but a lot of the other guys that I do projects with, nobody wants to write the copy. And the big thing that I've found is nobody likes, a lot of people like to talk about getting things done, and very few people actually do get things done at the end of the day. And I think that that's where Robert and I really respect each other and can rely on each other, is when we say something's going to get done. We're not off wondering if Robert or Lance is doing their piece of the puzzle. It's just done. And in other ventures that I've done, it's like, okay, I'm going to go do this, and you go and do it, but then the copy never gets written or the traffic never gets sent, and things just sort of dwindle apart after that.